Here we go. So today, the theme of our class is all around the concept of change. And the word for change in Sanskrit is parinama. I'm just going to put that in the chat box for you. Parinama. It's a word that's used in the Yoga Sutras. And I thought it was really relevant to talk about this now because there is so much change, more than most of us have ever seen in our lifetimes, going on now externally. And yoga is about helping us to accept the changing circumstances of our experience, because actually things are always changing. However we try to make things stable externally, it never really works, because we can't control situations, we can't control other people. Things are always in this state of flux. So what we are aiming to do is to remain stable within ourselves, to find this inner sense of security and peace, so that in an uncertain world, we can just remain calm and peaceful. So what we're going to be doing in this session is working towards, what does that mean? So for some of you, you might have some idea about what inner peace means, inner stability means. But for others of you, you might not have a clue what I'm on about. But when we become still and quiet, we begin to get glimpses of this, and it's all about giving this our attention. So before we start properly, just a couple of reminders. Firstly, if you don't want to look at your screen, you don't need to. So if you want to look away or turn your camera off or close your eyes, that's absolutely fine. You always have choice. And the second thing is to move when we do start to move in a way that feels right for you. So if I suggest something and it doesn't feel right, it's much more important that you do what feels right. So it's all about your own choice, your own, what your heart is saying rather than what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is not an instruction, it's just a suggestion. So the first thing is to say, please come to a comfortable sitting position. But if you would rather lie, it's always better at the beginning if you are able to sit, because we're doing a little bit of breath work. But if that's too much and you're extremely fatigued, of course it's fine to lie. So this is the first time when you make a choice on how you're feeling. So just listen in and honor that. And if you are sitting, just make sure that you are comfortable. And likewise, if you're lying, just do that in a way that feels okay for you. So parinama, accepting change in an uncertain world while we remain stable. The other translation, incidentally, of parinama is transformation. So in yoga, change is always seen as that opportunity also for transformation. And the more stable we could be inside, the less painful that is, because obviously change can be painful if we are just going all over the place with it instead of remaining stable within ourselves. So just start by closing your eyes if that's comfortable, and if it's not, you can leave them open. And take a moment or two to just arrive in your body. And then just with curiosity, explore, what does that feel like to arrive in the body? Just see if you can explore how the physical body is without making any judgments, but bringing a sense of compassion and kindness to this. And then observe how the mind is. Again, without judgments, just see that the thoughts are coming and going, but doing your best to not get involved in them. So a thought might arise, but you're not following it through into like a thought chain, you're just letting it go. So we're not making our thoughts into something that's concrete. If we can, we're just stepping back a little bit and watching them. And then the same with the emotions. And with the emotions, we tend to feel them more in the body. So if you have got any emotion at the moment, and maybe you haven't, just observe where in the body you're feeling that. And maybe you can explore the emotion. Does it feel like a shape? Does it have a texture or a color? And then feel where you are touching your support. So if you're sitting on a chair, for example, you might feel your bottom solidly on the chair or your feet on the floor. If you're sitting on the floor, just feel those points of contact with the floor. So just allowing yourself to observe your current experience with this sense of compassion, not judging anything, not resisting this current moment experience. And using your body as a conduit to be here now. And then feel the area around your throat softening. You might like to just lift your head and then slightly tuck your chin in. And soften your shoulders. Soften your jaw. And if it's helpful, you could just take your fingers and massage around the jaw. Soften your eyes, the area around the eyes. Feel your rib cage slightly lifting and opening. So no strain, it's just a sense again of opening. And soften your ears. And then we're going to do a special breath now to help with any anxiety, just to release any residual tension. So we're going to breathe in twice through the nose and sigh the breath out. So I'll demonstrate it once or twice, and then you do it up to 5 times in your own breathing rhythm. Again, remembering everything is a choice. So we're breathing like this. So just try that up to 5 times in your own breathing rhythm. Breathing in sharply through the nose, twice, sighing the breath out. And then just very gently rock your body from side to side, coming into the body again if the awareness has left the body. So see if you can keep yourself in your body. The body is your resource, your conduit for your present moment experience. And then coming back to center. And then we're going to breathe in, opening the arms wide. And then exhaling, we're going to hug ourselves, opposite hand to opposite shoulder. We do that twice to each side. So when we do it the second time, we reverse where the arms are going. So one arm is in elbows on top of the other. Feeling the shoulder blades come together as you open and widen. And just feel yourself really nourishing yourself on that exhalation. You can hold a little if you like before you need to inhale again, so that you actually feel you're nourishing yourself. Maybe slow it down a little. And then just holding around the shoulders, continue to breathe. And then we're just going to check in. If it's okay for you, we're going to be breathing through the nose from the diaphragm. So when our arms are crossed like this, we're kind of pacifying the chest and the shoulders. They're not moving too much. So the breath is directed a little bit lower down. So just think of the breath now being slow and low. Shoulders are relaxed. And obviously, if this is too much for you, you can relax at any time. It's just something we're aiming to do. And then when you're ready, we're just going to stroke 2 or 3 times firmly down the opposite arm. Just so we're stroking ourselves. And then when you're ready, take your hands to your knees. We're going to do a little bit of chanting. And as always, chanting is a choice. So if you don't want to do the chanting, you can either listen or just do the breath work. So we're going to take our hands to the Namaste position. And I'm going to do this once as I explain it. If you want to look at your screen, do so, but hopefully my voice is enough. So I'm going to breathe in and take my right arm out to the right, following my fingers with my gaze. And I'm going to chant that right arm back to the other palm. Shante, shante, shante. And then to the other side. Join in when you want. Inhaling, right arm out to the side, following the fingers with your gaze. Chanting the palms back together. Shante, shante, shante. If you need to take an extra breath, that's fine. Inhaling to the other side. Shante, shante, shante. Just continue to do that in your own breathing rhythm and your own pitch. Resting out whenever you feel you need to. You don't need to wait for me. And then when you're ready, drop your hands to your knees. When you've worked an even number of times on both sides. And just take a moment or two to observe how you're feeling now, emotionally, physically, energetically, mentally. And again, bring this sense of compassion and acceptance into your current experience. And I said at the beginning of the practice that we are looking for what remains, what about us is stable. So I'm just going to ask you to come into almost like a state of meditation and to observe while you observe your body and your thoughts and your emotions. Maybe you see that these states are always changing, but what is it that remains? Can you find something that remains? And we'll explore this again later in the practice, but maybe you can bring your awareness to the space between the thoughts. Or just have a sense of your own presence, something that is always there. Something that was there before you started the class, something about you that was there last week, last year, always. This ever-present self. And if at any time you're not comfortable with that idea or you don't want to focus on that, just bring your awareness to the softness of your hands. And then when you're ready, we're going to come down now to lying. So we're going to do a little bit of relaxation from the floor. And as always, you have a choice how to come to this position. So if you would rather remain sitting, that's fine. I'm going to talk to you as if you're lying on your back, but if you prefer to lie on your front, that's also fine, particularly if you've had long COVID and you find your breathing is difficult in any way. So just explore how you're comfortable, even on your side, on a bed, on a sofa. And if you're on your back, I suggest you start with your knees bent and have something under your head to lengthen the back of the neck. And then have the arms a comfortable distance away from the body with the palms turned up. If that's not okay, you can turn the palms down. You can even rest them on the belly. So just explore what feels good for you. And then if you have got your knees bent and that feels too strong, you can just bring the knees together. So again, you're just exploring what feels comfortable, what feels good for you. And then just become aware of the weight of your body on your support. So have that sense of gravity and the earth supporting you. Observe where you are touching your supports and where there are spaces. And observing where you're touching, just feel yourself coming down more heavily in through those points down into your support. And then very gently, just roll the head from side to side as slowly as you can. The more slowly you can do this, the more we're signaling the nervous system that it's safe to let go and relax. So if we do this too fast, it doesn't have the same impact on our nervous system. We want to say to our nervous system, it's okay now. You can begin to let go. I'm okay. So really slowly, side to side. Maybe observing the neck feels different on one side from the other, but again, not bringing any judgment to this. And then centering your head, become aware of your shoulders. And if it's comfortable for you, just roll your shoulders slightly against your support. This is going to be easier if you're on your back. And then relaxing the shoulders, just feel them soften away from the ears. So you're increasing that space between the ears and the shoulders. And then think of the spine dividing the back in half and the right and left sides of the back, relaxing either side of the spine. And then just take a moment or two to explore how your arms feel. Explore how the legs feel. And if you don't have back issues and you want to begin to straighten out your legs now, if you're lying on your back, you can stretch out one leg then the other, having the feet wide apart. So you're just relaxing now into the full Shavasana. If you have back issues, it's probably a good idea to keep the knees bent. And then again, bring your awareness to your breath, if that's okay for you. If you'd rather not follow the breath, either just feel in the body where the breath is, or again, bring your awareness to that softness in the palms of the hands. And just to remind us about breathing slow and low, we're going to take one hand and place it on the heart, the other on the belly. And we're just breathing gently, so the hand that's on the belly is very softly rising on the inhalation, not too deep. And falling away, releasing on the exhalation. So the hand on the heart is relatively still. The hand on the belly is softly rising and falling. We're breathing through the nose. And then just bring your awareness to your exhalation. And then if it's comfortable for you, just allow your exhalation to be slightly longer than your inhale. And then explore the pause after the exhalation. Allow your awareness to drop into that natural pause after the exhale before the inhalation naturally arises. So you're not forcing anything, you're just observing. And then we're going to hum the breath out 3 times. So inhale through the nose, and then with the lips together, we're humming out. So just try that in your own breathing rhythm. Then we're just going to do some gentle movement. So when you're ready, bring your feet together. If your knees are bent, that's fine. We're just going to start by doing some movement with the chants. And as always, you don't need to chant if you don't want to. So turn the palms down beside the hips. We're going to breathe in and take the arms up and behind the head with the arms open wide. So the backs of the hands come towards the floor. They might not touch the floor. They come towards the floor, and then we chant the palms back beside the hips. Shante, shante, shante. Breathing in again, inhaling, arms wide apart, backs of the hands towards the floor. Shante, shante, shante. Continue 2 or 3 times more in your own breathing rhythm, in your own pitch, honoring your energy. So if that's enough, then just rest out. And then when you're ready, we're going to draw one knee over the belly, then the other. And we're going to breathe in. So you've got the hands either on the knees or under the knees, or even on the thighs. So wherever is comfortable for you. So working with the breath, we breathe in where we are. As we exhale, we let the knees come away from us as the elbows straighten. We breathe in and we draw the knees in towards us. Breathing out as the elbows straighten, sorry, breathing in as the elbows straighten. Breathing out as the knees come in towards us. So just continue in your own breathing rhythm. Feeling that connection with the lower back. Feeling where the back is touching the floor. And then we're going to drop our hands beside the hips. We're going to become aware of the right leg, and then we're going to breathe in and lift up the right leg. Keep the ankle and the knee soft. You don't have to lift the leg too high. On the out breath, bend the knee back in to the belly. Breathing in, you lift the left leg up, ankle and knee soft. Breathing out, knee comes back into the belly. If that's enough, rest out. Otherwise, do that 2 or 3 times more. If you want to work slightly more dynamically, you can lift the leg and have the foot and the back of the knee more active. So you really listen to what your energy levels are and you honor that. So you're not pushing, you're not striving. Those words have got no meaning in our yoga practice. We're just learning to listen to the body and to honor what is nourishing for the body, an attitude we want to take off the mat. And then just rest with the knees over the belly. I thought it might be quite nice today if we worked on our joint breathing sequence. So if it's comfortable for you, just have the knees over the belly and become aware of the ankles. We're just going to rotate both ankles together. So if we're drawing circles with our toes. So we make our circle in one direction and then the other direction, nice and slowly, feeling that nice mobility going into the ankles. And then pausing. And then we can think about our toes, because our toes are joints too. So just see if you can spread your toes and then relax them. As we get older, we tend to lose the mobility in our feet, and it's really important to keep the feet mobile and keep that sense of touch in the feet as well. And then we're going to relax the feet, and working with the breath, we're going to breathe in and gently bring the toes towards us. And moving with you if you need to check. And then as we breathe out, we point the toes away from us. So just 2 or 3 times in your own breathing rhythm. Toes in towards us as we inhale, toes pointed away from us as we exhale. And then relax the feet. And then drop your feet on the mat. Slide the feet along your mat if you don't have back issues, otherwise keep your knees bent. Open the feet wide apart. Take the arms away from you with the palms turned up. And just rest into Shavasana for a few breaths. Just giving your body time to rest and recalibrate. Signaling to our body, signaling to our central nervous system that we rest between activity, to give ourselves time to restore and replenish. This is the attitude we want to take out into our daily lives as well, not just when we're doing yoga. And then take a moment or two to observe, can you find this sense of presence that we were exploring earlier? This sense of quietness and stability, which is always there. when we become quiet. And as we give our attention to this, it begins to grow so it can nourish us. And then when you're ready, we're going to turn the palms down, bring the feet together, and gently bend the knees over the belly again. And again, we're going to do some leg raises, but this time we're thinking about our knee. So we're going to breathe in, lift that right leg, breathe out and lower. Breathe in, lift the left leg, breathe out and lower. If that's enough for you, rest out. Otherwise, do that once or twice more on each side, keeping your focus on your knee joint. And then when you finish, take one hand to each knee. Just allowing the mind to become quiet. We're going to think about our hip joints now. We're just going to work on keeping them nice and open and flexible. So as always, working with the breath, I'm going to breathe in, letting the knees move away from us and letting them open as wide as is comfortable. And then as we breathe out, we draw the knees in towards us and we bring them together. So we're making a circle by circling the knees apart. So just continue like that in your own breathing rhythm, being aware of what's happening in the hip joints, and also being aware of the connection that your back is making with your mats and how it moves, how the pressure on your lower back changes as you make your circle. And then if you like, we can take that in the opposite direction. I say if you like, because remember, everything we're doing is a choice. You rest out whenever you need to. And then when you're ready, we're going to drop the feet to the mat. And if it's comfortable for you, bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to drop down towards the floor. Now, if you are feeling that's too tight for you, you can place padding under the hips, a block or a cushion. But it's also quite nice, don't push it, don't stretch, but it's quite nice just to allow the hips to open by not having the support there, but decide what feels right for you. And then you can either rest the hands on the belly, or you can open the lower rib cage by bringing the arms up and over the head. But if that's too strong, just rest the hands on the belly. And then think about the breath, breathing slow and low through the nose from the diaphragm. So as we breathe in, those lower ribs are slightly rising up and apart. As we breathe out, they're gently coming back down again. This is a lovely position for the diaphragm because the body is so open and free. Allow the mind to be quiet. And again, just explore that silent point after the out breath. And then when you're ready, come back into Shavasana. So drop the hands back beside the body with the palms turned up. On an in-breath, bring the knees together. Massage into the groin if that feels tight at all. And then either rest with the legs apart or with the knees bent. And we're going to think about those 3 pairs of joints that we've been focusing on, the ankles, the knees, and the hips. So I'd like you to focus on the ankles and take 3 breaths into the ankles. And then focus on the knees and take 3 breaths there. And focusing on the hips, take 3 breaths there.